What's up, YouTube? How's it going? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. We're gonna give everyone a chance to pop in. We'll wait about 3 to 5 minutes before we fully dive in. So those of you who are here live right now, goodness, tap that like button on the way in so we can get the YouTube notifications out to the other people that might be browsing YouTube so they can hop over with us. We're going to go through a few things today. We're going to go through the security camera footage. I'm not sure if it's a full video, but this is the screenshot of the Hyundai, or what they think is the Hyundai Elantra, at a nearby gas station. I think it's actually considered a food mart, but technically kind of like a gas station. So we're going to go through that momentarily. That actually, this is the overlay right here of the Hyundai Elantra 2013 with the car. And I think it looks pretty similar. I mean, certainly the back window, like right up here where the curve of the window is, that lines up as well. It's kind of blurry, but you can tell it's a pretty long front light as well. Headlight. I don't know. It looks similar. We're going to go over the actual mapped out location. We're going to go over that here momentarily. Please look up a 2013 Hyundai Elantra Limited, please. Okay, we'll look up the Limited in a moment. I'm going to give some people a chance to pop in. Thank you guys for joining. I'm going to see who all is in the chat. Tom in, great channel. Thank you, Tom. Thank you for the 2. Appreciate it, my friend. Thanks so much. Elizabeth, thanks for joining. Pam, hello. That is good to hear. Good to hear. Lady May, hello. Coffee Buzz, good evening. Janet, D, Susan, Linda, hello from Australia. I forgot the notifications were still on there. There's the super chat from Tom. I forgot that notification was still active. Thank you, Tom. Pilford, I hope they catch this evil person. I agree with you. I agree. 802 Troy Road. So yeah, we're going to get to that in a moment. I appreciate you dropping the actual location. This is we may as well just jump into it. You know what I mean? The people, you guys are here. We got people flowing in. We'll be kind of repeating stuff as more people continue to join. But this is the actual food mart, supposedly, that the security camera footage was taken from. And if we actually go to the corner here, we might be able to see the camera. I think that there's a camera back here in the corner. And then there should be one. I think there's one up under here as well. But we're going to get to that in a second. We're going to watch the video that talks about the Hyundai. We're going to go through this thread. As people are joining, I'm going to go through the thread from Brian Enton. This is a 10-part threaded message, or a threaded tweet, rather. This is from earlier this afternoon. Wait. Glad it's not just me. Good to see you. Good to see you, Joyce. TD, how's it going? Moscow Police Captain Roger Lanier released an updated video reflecting on the 1-month mark of the investigation. Here are my notes from what he said. So we are at the 1-month mark now. This is the notes from that video, as Brian Enton interpreted. First call police made after murders was to the Idaho State Police to have their investigative team come help. 2, scene wasn't chaos, but it was very somber. Many college students were standing outside and lots of crying. Friends trying to find out who was inside. Some family members arrived on scene. 3, it was very hard on some young officers who were very young. It was the first crime scene they had encountered, a very draining day. First 3 days was an adjustment, trying to get resources in place and a system that worked for everyone. Which, yeah, you have to imagine a lot of these, I think that it had been 7 years since the last homicide in this area. So you got to imagine if there's even a few guys in the last 5 years that have joined the force, this is going to be their first real major crime scene to deal with. So I imagine it was pretty difficult. 4, FBI got involved almost immediately. They put a system in place to process the information coming in. There have been a lot of emotional highs and lows over the last month, but an incredible amount of teamwork. 5, general public does not have an idea of the scope of the investigation and the number of people involved. I think that's with just about any type of case like this. We always are left to just wonder, how much do they know? How much, have they let out? I think it's obvious with this case. They're keeping a lot of stuff close to the vest. And that's just because, well, hopefully it's because they have a lot and they're close to something. But they also just know a lot more. They have access to a lot more. So 6, rumors and speculation on social media have been by far the most frustrating part of this. They want to protect the integrity of the investigation, rumors flying on social media. Look, every single day it's going to get, Tom, is there any fact to the roommate suicide? Wait, what do you mean? I think that around Thanksgiving, Tom, they had talked about a murder-suicide situation. Is that what you're talking about? As if, did one of them commit the murders and then kill themselves? They, I think, ruled that out very early on, if that's what you're referring to, Tom. But what I was getting at, rumors, right? We are now in this new age of technology being so accessible, having internet connections, cases being very public. In a matter of days, Brian Enton was out there on the scene reporting on this daily. And there are people that are going to be very interested in following along cases like this, especially people in the town. Like, you can't blame the town itself, the town where this college is at, where all these people are at, where 4 people had just been killed. You can't blame the people there for wanting to know what's going on. Obviously, I'm not a fan of people putting out misinformation, and that's definitely been something that's happened with this case. If you guys saw the video of the person screaming, or the sound of the screaming. But, I definitely, I know what they're talking about, but, it's going to happen, and that's just part of solving crimes in this century. It's just going to get more and more difficult. 7 out of 10. A small piece of information that has speculation added to its takes on its own life on the internet. Then we find ourselves trying to track the rumors down. We see the tips coming in are geared more towards rumors. So once again, they're frustrated about the tips coming in that are more based in speculation and rumors. They're obviously going to voice their frustration there. Unfortunate part is the impact it is having on the families, college friends, and friends of the victims. Some have had death threats. It is re-victimizing people who suffered from this terrible trauma. This investigation is not cold. We get tips every day that are viable. Some tips are not good tips, but every single day we are getting a good amount of tips. They help us clear people, to help us further some of the theories we are working on. Our next step is to continue doing what we're doing to eliminate information that is not relevant and take on new information. Okay, so that obviously is a sum up of the most recent video that Captain Roger Lanier put out, voicing more than anything kind of frustrations with the rumors that have spread online, which, like I said, I understand, but at the same time, I have some thoughts after today, and we'll get to that in a second. What is everyone saying here? I believe she was in the dorm. A girl killed herself over bullying. Wait, what? I didn't hear this. Let me know what you're talking about, Tom. But yeah, I'll definitely be looking out for your message. Played against that Friday night. Had a stabbing a few weeks ago. There was a stabbing at a casino, like yesterday or today. 4 people stabbed in a casino in Washington. I know a lot of people are tagging the Idaho, that they're using the same hashtags, wondering if it's connected in any way. I don't personally think it's probably connected in any way. I think that this is probably an isolated incident. But yeah. Let's see. Tom, Hannah, clear suicide. Okay. unalived after the girls bullied her is what's going around. These murders happened 2 days before her first Heavenly Bee Day. Wait, what? So 2 days after the murders, this person named Hannah unalived herself. Okay. I don't know. That's a weird, I mean, that is just possibly bad timing. It was on another channel that one of the victims was her roommate, but don't know if it's true. Okay. So we don't know if that's true, but that is interesting. I mean, thanks for sharing that, Tom, and thank you for the 5. I will be looking out for any other messages that you may have. If there's any message that comes, I definitely read the messages as best as I can. Don't feel the need to donate, but I appreciate that, Tom. I'll look out for any other messages you might have on that. Angela says her dad said accidental overdose. Okay, yikes. Well, that's unfortunate. Father said not true about bullying. Okay, thank you. So apparently one of the fathers said that's not true. Oh, she unalived herself back in February. Okay. All right. Well, what we're going to do now, because like I said, we want to go through the maps because like I said, the footage that has come out, or at least the still image of this car, is very interesting to me. So we're going to watch this video. And one thing I have thoughts on this. I have comments, and I don't want to like criticize anybody too hard. But let's just watch this and I'll let you guys know my thoughts. Wait, hold on. Let me turn this up.
By Fox News Digital into those slain University of Idaho students. Those images you just saw at the top of Jake's report were obtained exclusively by Fox News Digital. This cell phone photo of a computer screen showing a white car on a highway in Moscow, Idaho.
So I'm going to pause it. They have shown a screenshot here. 11, you can't quite see it with the mouse here, but this is the 13th. So the night of the murders, or the morning, however you want to say it, 3:45 a.m. Okay, 11, 22, 13, 3:45 a.m. Keep that in mind. They think the murders happened between 3 and 4 a.m. At least that's what they said earlier on.
The clerk who reviewed the security footage said it drove by around 3:45 in the morning. There you see the photo of the timestamp. You did just see that. Detectives collected 8 hours of surveillance video from this gas station. An overnight manager told Fox News Digital that she had been reviewing the tapes over the past few days during her graveyard shift. She says she saw a white sedan driving by real quick at 3:45 in the morning. That's around the same time the 4 students were killed. The manager said once she saw the car on the tape, she took a photo and sent it to police. Detectives arrived around 11 a.m. this morning to collect the surveillance video. Fox News Digital asked them while they were leaving if they found anything significant. One of them responded, not yet. Just last...
Okay, I'm pausing there because here's the thing, guys. First of all, that location, which we know is on Troy Road. You can see 802 Troy Road. It's right there in the front of the building. It's the food mart. I have it pulled up right here. This is Troy Road right here. This is the food mart, 802 Troy Road. The actual location from where the murders took place, this is where it's at. Okay, so it's not technically on the same route home that the girls would have been on from the food truck. So this map is likely where the food truck was, somewhere here on North Main or wherever they say that food truck was. So it's not technically in the same route, and it's not this A&W. This is one of the gas stations that you pass on Taylor Avenue heading to 1122 King Road, where the murders took place. If you actually drop a pin on this, the moment I heard that they had security camera footage, I immediately thought, and they said gas station, I immediately thought it was going to be from this gas station / A&W that is on the corner here, because this is like one of the only ways into this neighborhood, and this is likely the way that the girls enter the neighborhood, or vice versa, the person who did this, or people who did this, would have likely left. So I'm going to talk about why that's important in a second. Thank you guys. We have 250 people in here. Thank you guys for joining. Let's try to get to 100 likes. We have 67 likes in here. Let's get the like count. Yeah, Lady Tie-Dye says hello. Why only 60 likes? Yeah, everyone hit that like button. I appreciate you guys joining on this Tuesday evening. We're going through right now the maps. Here's what I have to say that's a little bit troubling to me. Even though Troy Road and Highway 8, this like area right here where this security camera footage was taken, even though this isn't technically in that route, you would think that law enforcement would have already gotten footage from anywhere they possibly could have gotten footage in the immediate area. So, for example, the freaking A&W / gas station that's on the corner of Taylor Avenue and Main Street right here, I hope to God that they got the footage here. Like, you would think with only essentially one way into this neighborhood that they at least got that footage. I kind of, I guess, could give them a pass for not obtaining the footage from this this food mart yet, but at the same time, there's only so many ways in and out of the city as well. You could go north on what looks like Highway 95. So if you were to dip out of the city and try to get out of town, you would probably pass a couple gas stations on the way out of the north side of town. So I would hope that they have checked those. And then you would think that they'd check some of these bigger businesses on the east side of town heading east, like the Taco Bell and the Subway and the Food Mart here. Now, I know they can't go around checking every piece of security camera footage, but it's like, come on, this town is relatively small. There's like 4 ways into the town. It's like you either come in through the south on 95, you come in from the north, and then same thing on exiting. You either exit to the west here on Highway 8 into Washington, or you leave heading east on Highway 8 heading into Troy. Actually, I didn't realize this was a city, but it's baffling to me that law enforcement just went and got that footage. This is one of the main roads heading out of town. That's unfortunate that it took them this long. Now, kudos to the girl or guy, I think they said woman, who was just on her night shift and decided to look through the security camera footage. She clearly had she was intending to look through footage from that night, so she probably was just taking it upon herself to maybe see if she could see this white Hyundai, and sure enough, there it was. I mean, I don't know if that was the case, if she was really seeking that out, but I mean, if she was looking at something that was a month ago, clearly she was kind of taking a look at it, and it kind of goes to show, just like Thread says, a lot of footage is likely going to be gone soon, because some backups are only like on a 30-day backup. So the footage will be removed after 30 days. So hopefully this is a sign for law enforcement to go check any and all cameras that they may have not gotten footage from local and nearby businesses, specifically the businesses that are between where the food truck was and the house. In my last stream, we counted, I think, 14 or 16 cameras along Main Street, Highway 95, South 95 or South Main Street right here, Taylor Avenue, and then to the house. We counted 16, I think, cameras that they possibly could have gone through on their way to the house. So hopefully they've gotten all of that. Maybe this is a wake-up call for them to do that before some of that footage maybe will expire or get rewritten over. So yeah, it's a good point. Tom says that tells me they might not be local. I mean, who knows? I mean, it's one of those things. If they were trying to leave town, maybe they were leaving on Troy Road, heading east rather. Let me look at the photo again. It's hard to say. Well, it looks like look at the photo. So this is the road here, and it looks like the car is heading to the left. So from the actual business, from the camera looking at the road, it'd be like that. So it'd be heading this direction, which, if I go upside down here, would be this way. So it would be heading out of town. So, sorry, I'm all over the place here. Here's Troy Road. I think that they're heading from right to left. And so they'd be heading out of town to the east. So that's interesting as well, because if they weren't heading out of town and they were right here by this food mart heading this direction, you know, do they live over here on this east side of town? Is this the side of town that the Hyundai's on? And, you know, I saw some comments of some people saying, you know, it's not illegal to drive a white car in the middle of the night. However, in a town this small, you know, under 30,000 people, 3:45 in the morning, a car that is essentially matching to a T the car that they're looking for. I mean, that's a pretty close match. The odds of that being out on the road at that exact time, pretty interesting. It's definitely something, I'm sure. And the fact that they went and immediately collected 8 hours of footage from this person tells me that they must know something really substantial about this white Hyundai. They must really know something substantial. All right, let's keep watching this video. Thank you guys so much for tapping that like button. Thread says 25,000 population. Yeah, I knew it was just under 30. Isn't that a Chevy emblem? Chevy emblem. It looks like it from this side, but it's definitely a Hyundai. I have a Hyundai. You know what's kind of funny, guys? I drive a Hyundai Elantra, so not this exact model, but all right. We're gonna play this video.
Says she saw a white sedan driving by real quick at 3:45 in the morning. That's around the same time an amateur, Ethan Chapin, Zaina Kernodle, and Kaylee Goncalves. And there you can see the timestamp there. So this is breaking as we speak. This is with a story in a case that has not had many major developments. I would say this is quite significant at the moment. There you can see that video obtained by Fox News Digital. Detectives going into that gas station, collecting 8 hours of surveillance video. And so that overnight manager had been reviewing the tapes over the past few days on her graveyard shift. We know, according to police there in Moscow, a lot of online and amateur sleuths have taken up this cause. No doubt they have been somewhat irritated and annoyed by that development in this, but no doubt the wider public is invested in trying to bring someone to justice and trying to find a piece of information that will help law enforcement, as we are now 1 month removed since those very vicious slayings. Okay, in the meantime, we do want to play out an interview now that we had. Live Now's own Andy Mack spoke with the family attorney of the Goncalves as they want answers, as they are still mourning the loss of the death of their daughter Kaylee in this slaying. Let's hear what the lawyer had to say in this interview.
Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you.
So someone was saying it looks like a white Altima. So I'll be looking up some of the cars and comparing them in a moment.
Here on Live and Now from Fox, I'm Andy Mack, and certainly still watching a story that has captivated a lot of the nation over the last month plus. We're now joined by Shannon Gray, an attorney for Kaylee Gonsalves' family. Thank you so much for joining us here. And the latest developments, what are you kind of talking with the family about, and kind of just what are we looking at right now, a month after this tragedy?
Well, on Monday, we had a meeting with the investigators, the prosecutor, Chief Fry, everyone that's kind of involved in the investigation, and the family and myself met with them and wanted to kind of connect with them about a few issues. We had a lot of questions that we wanted answered. Most of them didn't get answered because they're keeping, most of the investigation pretty close to the vest. But we did want to cover a couple of things. The first thing was accountability. There have been a lot of inconsistent statements put out by Chief Fry, Bill Thompson, Kathy Mabbitt, Art Betke, the mayor, and those inconsistencies, kind of didn't promote confidence in the investigation, because if you have one rooster that's basically speaking and telling the correct information instead of 4 or 5 people speaking and giving interviews, it can be much more of a consistent message. And so we wanted to let them know that we'd like to see, some more accountability when it comes to communication with the public, and accountability regarding, them managing their side of the investigation a little better.
Okay, so clearly, attorney for Kaylee Gonsalves' family is saying that they don't feel like the communication is good with not only the public, or not only them, but the public. And it makes you wonder, because then on the other hand, I've heard that law enforcement, people have talked about, and other family members of the victims, not Kaylee's, has said that the communication has been fine. So I don't know. That's what I've been reading anyways. I don't know if it's true or not. So it makes you wonder exactly how the case is being handled with like the families and whatnot. Obviously that's got to be a hard position to be in. They want answers and they want them quickly, but it's like they can only do so much right now. They're knee deep, probably neck deep in leads at this point. It is weird to me that they didn't get that footage sooner. It is what it is. Okay. Is this live? Yes, this is live. This case is crazy. Yeah. Hey, everybody. Hey, Marcia. Definitely a Hyundai Elantra, in my opinion. Yeah. So real quick, someone had mentioned it looking like a 2010 Nissan Altima, which I have right here. Let me just go side by side with them. Whoops. I don't know. Yeah, it does. It definitely doesn't not look like it. I would say that this back part of the window right here, the way it angles up, looks a little more like an, although you got kind of an angle here too. Who knows? I'd say it still probably looks a little more like the Hyundai, because look, if we scrub through here, that angle of the glass, the way the glass comes up, to me, it pretty much matches. It's hard to say though. She said it was going by pretty fast as well, so it could just be the blur of the image. But yeah, it definitely doesn't look too far off from a Hyundai Elantra. So someone told me something about Grizzly's newest video or live stream, something about some new people, some new info. If there's anything you want me to look through, I can maybe do that, but I don't want to just rip her video. Okay, so also these are some like 3D renderings that someone put online. They don't really say anything in the videos, at least I don't think. Yeah, they don't say anything, but I thought they were kind of interesting. You get like a really good idea of the layout of the house. So these stairs down here would go to the main floor. This would be Ethan and Xana's room. And then the kitchen in the corner. This is the kitchen. Whoever made these did a pretty solid job. They're saying that this is the wall where the red substance seen trickling on the outside. Huh. Oh, that's in the bedroom now. So that's the wall. Oof. If you guys remember that video of what looked like blood coming down. That is scary. Her live was awesome. Okay, so I'm hearing some really good things about Grizzly's last live stream. So I'm going to have to check that out. She does an amazing job. I have not seen her most recent live stream, so I'll definitely have to check that out. For sure. Don't forget, we have not seen one single piece of evidence that anyone was murdered. Wait, what? I mean, when do we ever see actual physical evidence in a case? That is not for us to see, my friend. I don't think that they're just conspiring and lying to us about a quadruple homicide. Okay, a YouTube video has been released on YouTube. Saw it on Twitter. A black truck in body cam. What? What does that have to do with anything, though, Lilypop? All right, sorry, I'm just reading some of your guys' messages. Let's keep this video going. I guess we'll continue listening here. If you're just popping by, we're going to go back through and show the location on the map of where the security camera caught the vehicle that we were just looking at there. We're going to go back through that location momentarily. Be sure to tap that like button. 547 people, 147 likes. Let's change that. Thank you, guys.
Communication with the families, the victims' families, and making sure that has they do a better job of it. They haven't done a very good job of communicating with the families. It's been kind of inconsistent. We've been reaching out to them, a lot of that stuff, and I wanted to make it very clear to them that our expectations were the investigations, number one, obviously. Number two is the victims' families, and the third is the media and the general public. The idea that the families might hear about some new information on a news release was unacceptable. We needed to hear about it first, prepare for anything that might come down the road regarding that, and move forward in that direction. So.
It is, and there's a lot of information we don't know. And like you said, police are keeping a lot of this information close as the investigation continues. How much does the families know, and how much does the Gonsalves family know about what happened on that night?
Well, there's been a lot of information that's been put out by the different parties. Bill Thompson made some statements about the targeting aspect of it that, Chief Fry walked back on. Kathy Mabbitt, the coroner on the case, has made a lot of statements, a lot of interviews, has spoken with different victims' families. Art Betke, obviously, from the get-go, the mayor of Moscow, made the statement about crime of passion. So, we went in wanting to clarify a lot of that information. We wanted to, I had 5 pages of questions that, we were looking for. They wouldn't give us much information, if any, on most of the stuff. But we're hopeful that, the thing that we wanted to do is that leaving that meeting, the police asked us to, for the platform that we're using, giving some interviews, is to really focus on information regarding the 2011, 2013 Hyundai white vehicle, and the tip line being 208-883-7180, and getting information on that and putting that out to the public. I think that's an important piece of evidence. regarding who might have been in the car, what they might have seen, things like that. And the fact that the tip line itself has been turned over to the FBI. So you'll have to be patient in your tips. There might be a prompting that you may have to go through. It may be a 15-minute or so phone call in order to get the tip in. But for us to, put that forward and make sure that people were aware of that. And that's
okay. So we're going to end that there. This is, once again, Kaylee's family's attorney, just kind of talking about the frustrations that they're going through. Obviously, also, if their family is receiving any information on Facebook or social media prior to law enforcement telling them, that's definitely a no-no. It's like they shouldn't have to find anything out online. They should definitely have that, at least that level of communication with law enforcement. Sorry, my microphone's like falling here. I got to push it back on. I just muted somebody. I had to mute somebody. That Crisis Cast is talking about why there's no evidence of a crime being committed. Guys, if you're just in here to troll, then find somewhere else to troll. Nobody in here has actual evidence to show you. So don't ask questions like that. You're not gonna get your answers here if that's what you're actually looking for. Chloe's mom says Chris from interview room found glove outside. Yeah, I did see that. Maybe we could watch that in a moment. There was Chris from the interview room. Here, hold on. That was a little bit weird because it's like that happened a while after the glove outside. So let's watch this real quick. News Nation had Chris on to talk about this.
It is a piece of potential evidence everybody is talking about online. The glove that the police almost missed. It was dropped, or it was thrown out outside the home where the 4 college students were stabbed to death in Moscow. And there is a good chance that it would still be there right now, but for a former homicide detective turned podcaster who noticed it while he was actually visiting the scene on Thanksgiving, which is 11 days after the murders. Chris McDonough is a veteran of the Oceanside, California Police Department, and currently he's the director with the National Cold Case Foundation. He's also co-host of the podcast, The Interview Room, and he is live with me tonight. Detective, it's so good to have you. First of all, I am shaking my head as I even think I'm doing this interview with you. Take me there. Tell me what happened. You literally showed up and looked down and said, hello, gentlemen, come over here. Have you seen this? Is that really how simple this was?
Yeah, it really was, Ashley. I mean, it was my wife and I, it was Thanksgiving Day. We happened to be up here in Idaho. And I said to her, I said, hey, let's just go over where that, situation's taking place at the university to get some tape. And we're walking up the street. And the first thing that caught my attention, to be honest with you, was all of the cars still parked on the property. And then I looked over and I saw there was an officer controlling the scene sitting in his vehicle. And I looked to the left and I saw that what appeared to be a glove.
So I'm gonna enlarge the video here so you guys can see. What do you guys think of this? Do you think it is anything significant? I mean, here's the thing. It apparently snowed right after or shortly after the murders took place, right? Apparently there was no snowfall on the ground when the murders took place. And then it snowed. And then Chris McDonough of the interview room shows up on Thanksgiving. Now, this glove, for the majority of the crime scene being processed, could have been under a layer of snow. I would have imagined that it would have been seen prior to the snow. But then again, they may have been more focused internally on the inside of the house, even though I think you should probably work your way from the outside in when determining where your crime scene's at and then working your way in. Obviously, there's going to be people that are processing the crime scene very quickly inside, but you would think that this would not get overlooked. However, I'm just in my head, I'm thinking maybe it was covered in snow. Maybe it had melted enough to where by the time Chris got there, it just was visible at that point. But I don't think it's like a huge deal. I don't think it's a huge mess up by law enforcement by any means. It could have just been something that had melted. It has been collected and processed. So I'll play the rest of this video, but they did come and take it.
And I looked at my wife and I said, "Is that a glove?" And she goes, "Yeah, I think it is." And so about where Brian was standing tonight, I walked over and looked over, and sure enough, it was a glove. And I immediately got
you know what I'm going to
attention.
do? I am going to, Chris, thank you for saying that. When we go back to Brian in a little bit, I'm going to actually ask him to walk me to the exact spot so that everybody who's watching right now gets the full perspective. Sometimes it's hard when you're watching through a one-dimensional TV screen. So I'm going to do that. In the meantime, help me out with this one because you're the murder detective, but you're also the person who found it. What kind of glove was it and the significance of the kind of glove as pertains to a murder?
Well, I can't really tell what type of glove it is, if it's a male, female. And obviously the significance may be nothing, but it also could be very significant. There appeared to have snow on it, so I assumed it had been there for, quite some time, at least, before the earlier snowfall. I later learned there are photographs of that glove floating online, and you can clearly see it there. And, I was unaware of those at the time. And when I told the officer, I waved him over and I said, "Hey, you need to come take a look at this." And he walked over and his first words were, "Oh, wow." And I said, "Yeah," and I told him, I said, "Hey, I'm a retired homicide guy. You probably want to collect that, get your evidence people out here to do that." And he took some photographs of it, and I assumed that they, had collected it. I videotaped him doing it just in case, at least taking the photographs. But yeah, it was crazy. It was just sitting there.
And this is.
So, I mean, I see a lot of your guys' comments. Let's see. The glove wasn't there. It was an investigator who was going to throw it in the trash. I mean, we certainly don't know the exact, where the glove came from initially, where the origin of this mysterious glove, which you can actually see it a little bit better here, just on this side of the trash can. It does look like it maybe was something that was attempted to be thrown away, but at the same time, would law enforcement just use the trash cans on and inside the crime scene for their own gloves? I don't think that makes sense. I feel like they would leave everything as is. If there's anything that they're going to be throwing away, I would imagine they take that with them, and so they would not mix any sort of exterior material and trash coming onto the crime scene mixed in with the trash, because I would imagine they also took things out of the trash can as potential evidence as well. So I don't know if it's anything significant. I doubt it is. It's something that has been bagged. And I also saw a comment, why would the killer drop his glove or throw his glove away or whatever? That's another thing. I don't think it's significant, but you never know. Tom, this glove belonged to a detective. Yeah. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. It definitely could have been, because it's just cold in Moscow, Idaho as well. So these detectives could have certainly had this glove on, and then it could have just fallen out of their pocket as well. And then it snowed, and then all of a sudden, there it is on Thanksgiving when Chris happened to be there. Someone was asking earlier up in the chat the direction of the car. So once again, going back to, and I know that there's 600 and some odd people in here now at this point. We're going back to the car, and this is perfect timing because Elizabeth Gregory just messaged, and I think she had mentioned earlier looking up the Hyundai. So let's look up the 2013 white Hyundai Elantra Limited. So we're going to look up the Limited. So thank you, Elizabeth, for that. I certainly agree, Chloe's mom. Police shouldn't be littering on a crime scene. I hope that it's not a result of the police littering, but you never know, I guess. All right, I got this Elantra pulled up here, Elizabeth. Yeah, so this is the 2013 Hyundai Elantra Limited. And actually, that's the same image that is right there. So if you see, I don't know if you can see it. I have it really small right now, Elizabeth. But this is the exact car that is overlaid on the actual footage here. So this is a limited 2013 Hyundai Elantra white. So you guys tell me, does it look... This is the car in the footage. This is a Hyundai Elantra. I mean, I will say the one thing that sticks out to me that doesn't make it seem like it could be this car is the actual headlight up here. To me, this seems a little off because of the shape. So if we go back to it, this shape doesn't feel like it goes up as high on the car, but at the same time, cameras can do weird things to images. So it could be just, it's super bright. We're not seeing the actual full shape. The thing that does look correct to me is the back here, the window, how it curves up. That right there, especially if the car is tinted, because this appears to have at least tinted, maybe slightly tinted windows, or it's just dark. But the window, the back passenger window, looks really, really, really similar in shape. And yeah, Grace, that's a great point. Lights blow out in photos and it's moving. So even then, it still looks really similar in shape. If it was just a small circle headlight, I would be like, that's weird. But they said that the car was going fast. Jess, how fast the car was going, I don't know. But they said it was going fast. Another thing someone asked, which direction was the car going? From this photo, and it's really crappy to see this like reflection of this girl's phone, but she's taking a photo of what looks like the car heading from right to left on, I think they said Highway 95. So it says a cell phone photo of a computer screen showing a white car on Highway 8. So if it's going right to left on Highway 8, this is the food mart where it took place. This is, let's see, is this Highway 8, which I think is Troy Road? Yeah, so this is Highway 8. It's hard to see it. Let me show you guys. You can see it right up here. So Highway 8 is Troy Road. Here's the food mart. It would have been going, this is the exact spot that the video captured the car. So the car would have been going east in this direction here. So, like I said, were they going to McDonald's? Once again, I'm sure McDonald's has cameras. And that's another thing. It's like, I hope also that the cop that came to this food mart to get this security camera footage of the vehicle heading east, I hope that they went down the block and looked and got security camera footage from this liquor store, for example. I bet that there's a camera out front of this liquor store somewhere, right? Like there's got to be a way to continue to track this vehicle, possibly either leaving town or as we go further down the street. There's a ton of neighborhoods on this east side of town, but then, like I said, you could head out of town as well. So I hope they started to piece together the actual rest of the route, because there's definitely some bigger businesses that likely had cameras in that direction. I hope they're not just waiting for leads to come in for them to check footage. All right, I'm going to read some of your guys' comments, and then we're going to dive back in. I am going to go over to Grizzly's video. It looks like we're not going to watch the whole video, obviously, but Angela had mentioned watching at like the 55-minute mark, I think. Can you clear up the image any? I can definitely try in my editor, but I don't think it's going to do a whole lot when it's that poor of quality. It probably won't help much, the things that I can do. Lily Pop. Angela, I think he's busy. Maybe next time. Don't want to be pushy. Wait, what's going on? No, if that's what you're referring to. No, I can definitely check it out. I'm gonna read some of your guys' comments here first, and then we will go check out that video, part of her video at least. Okay. Tap that like button, guys. 800 people in the chat, 255 likes. Let's try to at least get half the amount of likes. Let's try to get 400. That'll help get the stream out there to the other subscribers that maybe didn't get notifications. You would think with all the media attention on this case that the owner would just come forward. So that's another thing. People are like, it's kind of crazy, this BOLO, this be on the lookout for this white Hyundai Elantra from like over a week ago now hasn't really resulted in anything. You would think that anyone with a white Hyundai Elantra would have already come forward or would have told people, hey, I know somebody, my best friend's mom drives a white Hyundai, or, you know, my sister's brother just bought one last week. You know, not that everyone knows every kind of car that their friends buy and that they drive, but you would think a town of this size, 25,000 people, they would have narrowed down who drives a white Hyundai Elantra, you would think. I hope these guys are on camera out of the car. Tom, yeah, that's a good point. And honestly, in this video, you can't, for a second, it's just when I'm cycling between them, it looks like someone's in the actual driver's seat, but yeah, right there, you can't actually see anything. So I would hope they're able to track it down for sure. Ken, I sure hope they're looking for cell tower pings from Hyundai Blue Link. Does anyone know if this model of Hyundai Elantra is equipped with Hyundai Blue Link? Yeah, Angela, definitely. If I do end up watching a bit of it, I will certainly credit. Hyundai Blue Link. Well, let's just check it out here, Ken. Hyundai Blue Link. Models. So, what cars have Hyundai Blue Link? Does my Hyundai have a Blue Link? This feature comes on any new Hyundai model and even later model pre-owned vehicles, including Sonata Hybrid, Veloster Turbo, Azera, I don't know how I'm saying it, Genesis Coupe, Elantra GT. So I don't know, unless it's not, I'm seeing Elantra GT. So not just Elantra. But if it's a newer, 2013, there might be some sort of other connectivity with it as well that they could maybe look into. I just don't know if they even know. My hubby says it looks like a Chevy Cobalt. Chevy Cobalt. Let's look up Chevy Cobalt. I feel like I know what the Cobalt is too, and I think that it's similar in shape. That's a silver Chevy Cobalt. I can see where he's coming from a little bit there, but I don't know. I still feel like it's a little closer to the Hyundai. Maybe the front, headlight, I could see that seeming a little bit closer to this shape, but the car is moving, so. Okay, track them down by phone. More than one person. Oh, yeah, so Tom, I really feel like it's more than one person. You know what? I'm going to put up a poll. Tom, I'm going to start a poll because of your question. The wording of this is a little bit weird, but do you believe more than one suspect is involved? Do you think more than one person did this? Obviously, if we go back to what we know or what we've been told so far is that 4 people were killed with a sharp object. So, do you think that just one person did that? Do you think that there was two people? Let me know. This is the guy that's talking about the knife as well. They're thinking maybe this is the type of knife. Do you think it was one person acting alone? Or potentially two. Chloe's mom, Aaron, are you done with your documentary? Thank you for asking, Chloe's mom. I am done with the documentary. Tomorrow, the documentary is getting submitted for quality control, meaning it needs to make sure and meet all of the standards for different streaming platforms. So it is done. I cannot wait to let you guys know when it'll be out. The trailer for the documentary is going to exclusively be dropping on this channel. So stay on the lookout. It's going to come out very, very soon, the trailer. And then I'll let you guys know when you can watch it. But yes, the documentary is done. Thank you so much for asking. For those of you who are new to my channel, I, in the last year, have created a true crime documentary about a double homicide that took place 20 years ago in Kansas. And I've been working on it for, like I said, for the last year. And I'm so proud of it. And I'm so excited for it to be out. So thank you for asking. It will be out very soon. Okay, so also no sound is on. I get that. Thank you, Joyce. I really appreciate that. John, the documentary is about the double homicide that took place in Great Bend, Kansas, in 2002. The Dolly Madison murders, September 4th, 2002, Great Bend, Kansas. There's not a whole lot out there on the internet about it, but that is what it's about, and that is why I made the documentary, because no one has really talked about it on a large scale. So I'm very excited to have that out there. So this is another tweet from Brian Enton with a video. We didn't watch this video yet, so we're going to go ahead and watch this video.
Really quiet at the University of Idaho. With graduation over and most finals moved online, there are almost no students on campus. 1 month after the brutal murder of 4 students, and their families are anxious for any information. Victim Kaylee Gonzalez's parents met with the investigators just yesterday, according to their attorney. Have you or the family received any new updates on the investigation?
Well, part of our delay was we met with the investigators yesterday. We met with the prosecutor of the investigators, Chief Fry, and had a meeting with all of them. Part of our that meeting, actually, the kind of the theme of the meeting was two things: was accountability and communication.
Attorney Shannon Gray says the family wants a more consistent stream of information from police. He says most of their questions about the investigation have still gone unanswered, but they are hopeful police are doing the right things. New Tuesday, Moscow police released a video with new information about what happened soon after they got the initial call.
I got called at home. It was on a Sunday afternoon, and it took me a second. I really had to think about what I had just heard. 4 murders in Moscow, Idaho is so out of character.
Moscow Police Captain Roger Lanier says it was a somber scene when police arrived.
It was incredibly hard for the community, but it was also really, really hard on our officers, some of whom were very young, and that was the first real major crime scene that they had encountered. So emotionally, it was a very, very draining day.
Police maintain they have information they are not releasing, but they say they still have no suspect and continue to ask people with information on a white Hyundai Elantra seen near the house the morning of the murders to contact investigators. One question that I've been asked over and over again is why no reward? I mean, in other cases, we'll see a big reward. It makes people come out and talk. Why no reward here?
We've been so successful and really can thank the community and the public for all the tips they are providing us. We have so many and good ones. So we're in the process of vetting and categorizing all of those, getting those to the investigative team so they can take action on them right away. So we're in that process. A reward maybe is an option down the road, but we have such good information from the public as we are right now. We're working with that first.
So, Holly, I see your message. Talking about overlaying a cop car. Okay, so what do you mean? Like, just this is an Idaho cop car, this black car. I can't overlay it just like on that video right now. But I don't know what you're getting at exactly with the cop car thing. This cop car is obviously black, but I don't think that it looks like a cop car at all. Do you think it looks like a cop car? What are you getting at? What are you getting at? I'm curious. The Hyundai Elantra Coupe. Someone is asking about the coupe. This is the 2-door coupe. We could do the 4-door coupe. This is, I believe, the 4-door coupe, which is essentially the same. I mean, that looks really similar. I think that's like the same one that they have overlaid right here. Yeah, that's the exact same. That's a 4-door coupe right there. So I don't know if you guys were in here earlier when we were cycling through. This video has the overlaid coupe. This is the 2013 Hyundai Elantra Coupe. So those are it definitely looks like a 4-door. It looks long enough. These front two the side window and the front window look long enough. Undercover car was a hybrid. Oh, Holly, you're referring to the car. Yeah, that looked like a silver car, Holly. The one from the body cam footage. Yeah, I knew what you were referring to. I don't know if it was silver or white, but yeah, I mean, let me open up that video real quick, Holly. Body cam footage, Idaho. Okay. We'll pull that up in a moment. Maddie Ice, if you have Photoshop, you could paste a picture of the car into Photoshop and apply motion blur to it and see if it matches the car. You definitely could. I do have Photoshop. I could maybe do that, but we'll go through a few other things first. Holly, this is the silver car that you're referring to, I believe. The hybrid car, the unmarked police car. I definitely think it looks similar in body shape. It certainly looks similar in body shape. So there's the car they're looking for. Yeah, it definitely looks similar in body shape. It's got that kind of same window almost where it comes up. But yeah, it's a silver car. This one is very clearly white. But Aaron, I found this car on Google Maps. What car are you referring to? I think the hood looks long. I think the hood, I don't know, it's just so hard to say with it going fast. I wish we actually had the video of it, as opposed to just this blurry photo. It's pretty close though. Pretty darn close. All right, continuing on. Did someone message me on Twitter? Oh, Angela. What is this? I don't know what this is. Let me know in the comments. All right. We'll watch the rest of this video real quick while I get some stuff in order. This is the rest of that glove video. Not that there's anything truly significant here. Why didn't anyone hear anything? I don't know. But then again, people may have heard something, but it's a college town. People make noise. It's a Saturday night. Things happen. People are loud. People dismiss it, right? I used to live pretty close to a college, and we'd hear stuff all the time. We'd hear people walking home from bars, getting in fights, and you kind of just get used to it. And that sucks because, you never know if you're going to be sleeping through something awful, but you gotta just kind of, I don't even know what the word is, not forget about it, but you just have to kind of, it just blends in naturally to what's going on. Okay, so everyone's talking about this 4chan thread. Okay, so let me pull that up. I'm gonna play the rest of this video. I'm gonna go to Gizela's video and maybe watch a little bit of that. But I got to get the whole credit thing to come up on the screen. So bear with me here.
Inside the crime tape. This was not something that you discovered outside the crime tape, but they weren't watching, they weren't looking for it. So they'd had 11 days to scour the outside of the property. And I need to remind our viewers that you're from California, where one of the biggest first cases of my career happened, and a bloody glove was the significant piece of evidence in O.J. Simpson's case, which is why we don't make light of something that's just maybe looks like garbage. You know, certainly that's just a couple dozen feet from the front door.
Yeah, I mean, the significance of it, you know, is unknown at this point. You know, obviously, if it is involved, then it could be, you know, very important. If it's not, then, you know, at least you have it and you can put it into evidence. Just to say it's there. So, you know, the officer, in my opinion, you know, said he was going to bring the evidence folks to come collect it. And I hope they did that, to be honest with you.
So the other key part here is that you, as a homicide detective, you've seen the inside of a courtroom or two. And today the police were telling us part of the reason they're keeping information so close to the guest is to preserve the pristine nature of the prosecution, of the criminal procedure. So I could see a defense attorney watching our interview right now and saying, you didn't even see the most critical evidence, you know, even inside the crime tape for over a week and a half. Like, you leave something too long and that becomes...
Okay, and so once again, I feel like this can happen in the media where people are getting really upset about, like, law enforcement, how could they have done this? And it's like, we don't really know the origin of this glove. This glove could have been dropped by law enforcement on accident. Hopefully law enforcement wasn't trying to throw the glove away on the premises, but I don't know if there's really too much with this glove thing. They took it into evidence. If there's anything significant, it'll come out later on. We're going to go ahead and quickly we're going to quickly go into Gisela K's video at the 53-minute mark. This is youtube.com/grizzlytruecrime. I'm sure if you guys have followed this case, then you guys have followed or have seen Gisela K's videos. She is great at streaming. She is great at bringing the information quickly. This is from a stream earlier today. She is across the pond, so she streams typically during, you know, earlier parts of the day over in the States. So if you guys have seen this already, my apologies. I have been told by several people that this is beneficial. So I'll definitely scrub through this a bit. We'll listen to it. This is Gisela K.
Hope you guys are following my flow. Okay. So here they say, I'm just checking. Okay. Sigma has made their socials private and removed all info from Facebook going back a few years. They believe Ethan and Zaina were the main targets, stemming from an argument that night. Downstairs, survivors could hear two males rummaging through the room above them. Figured it was an after party, locked the doors, and went to bed. When they discovered them in the morning, about 30 minutes before the 911 call, they called their friends at Sigma to come over, who in turn called the police. It's right across the street. For whatever reason, they believed it was people from Sigma upstairs around 2:15 that night. The back door was left open, one dead in the bed, the other blocking their room's door with their body. Police just updated their Facebook to reiterate that they are not looking into the activities of that night. And we've already seen these two, well, at least this one, this fraternity is on like probation. We've had a look at that before, so check that out in a previous episode. But they say they are not looking into the activities of that night, only the murders, which to me suggests something went on. A fight, drugs, etc. And spilled into...
I mean, it's a college, right? So there's going to be a bunch of college kids that, you know, got really drunk or something, or smoked some weed or did something that are like, oh my gosh, like, we can't talk about what we saw because, you know, I'm 19 and I drank three beers or, you know, whatever. That's kind of what they're referring to. I mean, look, at the end of the day, they're going to reiterate that over and over again. They don't care if you were drunk. If you had something that was maybe beneficial that you saw, they're going to dismiss any sort of behavior that you may have been doing, that, you know, unless you were helping with the crime.
Into anger later that night and got them killed. Also, didn't want to release the profile they created as it would cause undue fear in the community, i.e. Greek life. More coming shortly. Okay, so let's just see what you guys are saying.
Okay, I'm gonna scrub ahead.
I.e. medicine's bed. So again, I'm just reading what they're saying. I would never talk like this in my life, but
Also, this is 4chan. I don't know what 4chan really is. I'm seeing some of your guys' comments. Red Team says 4chan is silly. Do I just need to find these posts myself and read through them? I don't want to just like rip her video. I didn't know if there was anything super significant that she was necessarily adding. But I also, like, these are just anonymous. These are just people posting on 4chan. I don't know what any of this means. There just seems like a lot of jargon here. I don't know what. Like, what are these people saying? Like, what is this? Look at this message here. I don't even know what to make of this. Dirty South Loach did it, and Rogaine Jack was in on it, and Titties was in the wrong place at the wrong... What is... Also, like, way to talk about people
that would
like
be David.
Like that. Like, what the heck, man? I don't know what to make of this. I don't know what to make of this. Jasmine saying stay away from 4chan. Angela was suggesting this. Angela, what exactly is this besides just potentially some people that are on 4chan, like maybe just talking about like potential like rumors about it? I don't know. I'm not saying there's not anything interesting there, but I don't want to just listen to her read it if we can read it ourselves. I might try to find it a little bit later. Okay, I am going to maybe hop back. So they are saying it was frat boys fighting with Ethan and Xana. Okay, so this brings up another point, Red Team. The frat situation. I feel like, we've talked so much about the potential that Kaylee was targeted, right? Or Maddie, or, that there was, and I think that they've kind of backtracked on that a little bit, but they talked about her injuries being potentially more vicious, right? I feel like we're not talking enough about Ethan and Xana. Like, their night, have they ever been, I mean, I don't know if it's public yet, but have they ever been able to like really piece together what happened that night besides them being at the Sigma Chi frat house and the bar? I mean, we know that they were at, let's see, what's the bar called? I have it pulled up right here. The Corner Club, right? Are we able to piece together anything else about their night? Because it's like, I feel like there could be a lot more. There's a lot more, I think, that's going to be really valuable if we could just figure out what they did. Because, yeah, maybe they did get into some sort of a fight with other frat boys. Maybe there was something. Yeah, Vivian says no, still missing time. Yeah, that's a lot of time. Also, Angela, yeah, I'll have to listen to it. I'm going to listen to it. There are a lot of guys talking about what they were going to do when and how. Okay, interesting. I'll definitely listen to it, or just go through it myself, but I'll maybe do it in the next stream. I'm going to move myself back over. But thank you for sending it, Angela. I appreciate it. But yeah, Ethan and Xana's situation. I mean, I feel like that's almost as big of a mystery. Like, I mean, the whole thing's a mystery, but it's like, I feel like we're kind of dismissing this huge gap in time. And it's like, how is no one able to come forward? You would think if something went on at the fraternity, like a fight or something, people from the fraternity would have come forward and said, hey, this happened, we were there, so on and so forth. But none of that has happened, or at least it hasn't made its way to the public. So I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff with this case that's just not out there yet. Okay, 925 people in here, 357 likes. Guys, hit that like button. Hit that like button if you have not already. It is free to do so. You either tap it with your finger or you click it with your mouse. It'll help YouTube notify potential subscribers that have not received notifications. If you haven't already and you would like to do so, please hit the subscribe button. If you're new here and you would like to join, hit the subscribe button. That is also free. You can be notified when we go live in future videos. definitely hit that subscribe button. We will check back on that in a moment. Maybe we'll see if we hit 27,400. Steve Harper, good thinking. What did Steve say? FBI should do an acoustic test on the bottom floor to see how much a person on all floors can hear. That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what good that would do now necessarily, because even if you were able to determine that if you were in the basement of the house, which by the way, I still have the page of the inside of the house. It's not the Zillow page, but it's called Zumper. We can look through the actual images. Even if they were able to make a determination that you could hear a lot coming from upstairs, it doesn't necessarily say one thing or another. Oh, they definitely would have heard it. Because like I said, they may have heard everything going on, or they may have heard a lot of what was going on, but just dismissed it. Holly Berry, thank you. This staircase right here, guys, this is the staircase from the first floor heading up to the living room. Ethan and Xana's room, I believe, would be through this hallway, and then the kitchen would be off to the left. So depending on if the doors were shut from the main floor where the two people were, the two survivors were at, if that door was shut for their bedrooms on the main level, then maybe they didn't hear as much. Social Butterfly. That's a good point. We don't know exactly what kind of screams even happened, right? We don't know. I mean, as gruesome as it sounds, depending on how and where they were stabbed first, they might not have been able to make a ton of noise. So we have to keep in mind, even though we think we know what this may have all sounded like, we may be completely wrong about that. But I agree with you. I think that there probably was some sort of a noise that would be enough to be like, wait, that's not just people partying. But anyways, once again, I'm going to go right here and show you guys the vehicle that is spotted in the security camera footage. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, that's another good point. Are you referring, Social Butterfly, are you referring to the video of the screams that came out late last week? Because that was not real. Yeah, we're not going to say where that came from. I'm not going to give that YouTube channel any publicity, but that has been confirmed that person faked that video, if that's what you're referring to. Thanks for reminding me, Angela. All right, so sorry, I'm kind of all over the place, guys. The car that was taken at this little mini mart. We're going to show you guys, for the people who have joined late. That mini mart is exactly 1.2 miles away from where the murders took place, almost directly east. So if it really was them and they left on Taylor Ave, I mean, this would be an easy way to get to Highway 8. And then this is the street that it was on. It was heading east in this direction. Once again, the girls were up on Main Street at the food truck. They would have likely gone on this route on the way home. So they wouldn't have passed that gas station. It's still very, very interesting, though. Right, it's in the footage by the field. The Leave Me Alone recording was fake, but in cop live cam, you can hear a faint female voice. Cannot make out what it said. I didn't hear that, Vivian. I did not hear that. A few of them fought hard, would have been screaming. I'm not talking about that fake recording. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Yeah, and I definitely don't disagree with you. I think even the fighting hard situation. I mean, you're talking about 4 people that were killed in such a brutal way. It's like, there's no way, like, that would have been so incredibly loud. I feel like those roommates that were on the main floor, if they were super drunk, maybe at that point they just absolutely dismissed everything going on. But it's like, these people were fighting for sure, and it's like, you would think they would have heard something. So that's pretty brutal to even think about that. All right, we're gonna pull up some other stuff here. I'm gonna go to the Reddit page and see what people are saying. Once again, this is the car that was seen in the security camera footage, paired with the 2013 Hyundai Elantra Coupe. I don't know. What do you guys think? It looks pretty similar. Okay, let me see here. Is there anything in this video worth listening to? This is from earlier today, talking about the gas station video. We're gonna watch this real quick.
Talk about the first time you heard about what happened. How did you react? What were your first steps as an investigator?
Yeah, well, it was hard. I got called at home. It was on a Sunday afternoon, and it took me a second. I really had to think about what I had just heard. 4 murders in Moscow, Idaho is so out of character, and at the time they were fairly certain it was college students and it was near the campus, and that area is kind of a campus community. So once I got over the initial shock, I knew that I was coming to the station. So I drove in, and everybody just kind of fell into a role. That was a all hands on deck moment Sunday afternoon. It became fairly apparent when I got to the scene that we were going to need resources outside of just what the Moscow Police Department could provide. And we have a very, very good working relationship with the Idaho State Police. We knew what their capabilities were, and so that was the first call that we made to have their investigative team come up and help us process the scene. The scene wasn't chaos, you know, the neighborhood, but it was very, very somber. Like I said, that is a community of college students that live over there. Many of them, through word of mouth, knew what had happened. They were standing outside. There was a lot of crying. There were friends trying to find out who exactly was inside the house. Some family members that arrived on scene. It was incredibly hard for the community, but it was also really, really hard on our officers, some of whom were very young. And
so this is kind of a recap of what we went through earlier, because Brian Enton recapped the captain's message from this morning and went through almost all of this. I mean, it was very hard on very young officers. So we're going to go through some of the cars you guys are talking about. So someone's talking about, I think someone said Prius. Someone also said 2009 Hyundai Elantra. And I have to say, Laura, I can show it to you right here. This is what I drive. So I actually have a 2009 Hyundai Elantra. It's not quite the same shape, especially the back. So that's a newer one. This is like the exact car that I drive right here. And it's just not, this is not the right angle, but I feel like still this window shape right here where it kind of curves up and it's almost more of a point back here. I don't think the 2009 quite has that. It's more of a, it's hard to see, but it's more of a rounded shape back here. I don't know if you're able to make that out as easily, but this look, it's just got that sharper, kind of more definitive edge. So I don't think it's a 2009 Hyundai Elantra, but I don't think, I mean, that's close. White Toyota Prius. Someone was saying Prius. Who was talking about a Prius? 2012 Prius is what I saw on Reddit. So 2012 white Toyota Prius. Once again, I feel like the Prius is also, the Prius has got that kind of that thing I was talking about with the window. It's got that same kind of line right here. But the window right here, well, I don't know. Prius has got a really flat back, like back here. It's really boxy in the back. This one right here, the front seems longer and flatter, whereas the Prius seems more rounded. It looks rounder on the front. Does that make sense? I'm not seeing it in the Prius. I really do think that I do think it looks like the Hyundai Elantra. I mean, more than any of these cars that we've been talking about, I think it looks pretty similar to a Hyundai Elantra, but just with tinted windows. Then again, what I'm seeing here with this tail light, it does have a bit more of the Prius. Like, it's hard to see it here, but the Prius has this kind of wraparound back tail light. I don't know. I think I'd have to see it. I think I'd have to see it in the actual video where you're seeing the movement of the car, because it's just too hard to tell cycling between these two. I don't know. The front end just doesn't quite match to me. These two. I don't know if it's the lights that are throwing me off. I know it could be blurry. But the front end's a little bit off to me. Let's see. Okay, let's read some of your guys' comments. Thank you guys also for tapping that like button. Wow, we have 1,000 people in here, and 429 likes. Guys, thank you so much for joining. If you haven't already, tap the subscribe button as well. We are close to 27,400. I'm going to read a few of your guys' comments. Carly is still thinking it's looking like a Prius, so it's not far off. It's too hard to say at this point with the blur of the video. The GT hatchback looks like that. Prius has the small wheels. Yeah, it does have the small wheels. What about a Honda Civic? Okay, let's look at the Honda Civic. White. Let me just type 2013 Honda Civic. I don't know what year. That's pretty close. Let me try to pull up a better photo here. Okay. The white Honda Civic. There's the car. That's the Prius, my bad. I got to get this straight here. There's the Civic. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Sorry. I'm all over the place. All right. It's hard to line this up. Oh, you know what I could do? I'm going to make it a separate window. And then I'm going to do this here. It's going to look terrible. And then I'm going to do this here. Okay, that looks a little better. We can kind of see it there. What do you guys think? Do they look similar? I think this back window part that I've been talking about a lot, it's similar on the white Civic. It's kind of at this angle up here. But I still think it's got more of that angle on the Hyundai. I mean, that sharp kind of edge. I mean, look at that right here. Focus right here where my mouse is at while I scrub through this. That's really, really similar there. I don't know. I'm getting hung up on that back window, but yeah, the Honda Civic's not too far off, I don't think. Let me pull something up here. And then I'll read a few more of your guys' comments. I'm going to look at that poll as well. So let me pull back up your guys' comments here. The poll is saying 46% yes. 46% of you think that yes, more than one suspect is involved. 54% no. So yeah, I mean, I think 54%, 46%, that's pretty, it's almost 50-50. I think it could go either way. I mean, definitely one person could have done this. You know, it certainly could have just been one person, but who knows? Mr. J, why did law enforcement say they are looking specifically for the Elantra? I think they just said, I don't think they even confirmed that they saw it leaving the area. I think they said that there was likely, they thought, you know, there was a Hyundai in the area, and they basically said the people in the Hyundai might have information that is valuable to the case. They didn't say, you know, we believe that the suspect was driving a white Hyundai Elantra. They didn't say anything like that. They just said that the people driving the white Hyundai Elantra might be people that have information. So they didn't come out of the gate saying, you know, oh my gosh, like it's super important that we talk to them. But use this as Royal Quay on Twitter. Thank you for sending me that. I will look into the 4chan thing. This is Jack. Show Walter's apartment with a similar car on Google Earth. Okay. I see that as well. It's too hard to say in that Google Earth image, though. I see some people are sending me stuff on Twitter. Appreciate that. Hard to say whether or not that is the same white car. Angela, thank you for sending me that. I might have to check that out after the stream. Once again, I don't know. I probably shouldn't just play their entire video, and I don't have the time to go through that entire thing on this one, but thank you for sending me that on Twitter as well, Angela. Appreciate it. Joseph, I work in medical. Stabbing in chest, neck preclude screaming. Lungs are collapsed. Death would have occurred within a few seconds, especially in Kaylee's death. Huh. Okay, thank you for that insight. It's almost like this feeling of like when you jump into freezing cold water, you almost can't even breathe, right? I don't think it's probably the exact same thing, but it's like you want to make noise, but you physically can't. So it's like, I'm sure that they like were, it's hard to even like say what they were potentially doing, but I'm sure that they like emoted just in some degree and like were trying to make audible sounds, but just couldn't potentially. I think the murderer was on foot. Can you find a pic on Google of an Elantra at night to compare headlights? Kat, that's a good point. Let's just look up Google, or go to Google. Hyundai Elantra. Huh. If I had a 2013 Hyundai Elantra, I'd go take photos outside right now at night to see what it looks like, how the, you know, the difference between my normal headlights and headlights being taken at night. But yeah, I'm looking for some night photos. It's kind of hard to find some. Let me look for a video. So there's this here. Let me go to this. I'll read some of your guys' comments in a moment again. Also, yeah, I saw someone's comment about so John says, as a victim, I would want my hands bagged for evidence. Apparently the hands on at least one of the victims was bagged for evidence. So, I mean, if there was a fight, if there was a struggle, there's got to be some sort of DNA there. There's just got to be. All right, are we able to see, do they go far away in this video? This is a 2021 Hyundai Elantra. So it's going to be hard to tell here. Let me try to find a different video here. We're trying to find and see what the Hyundai Elantra looks like at night. 2013 Hyundai. Whoops. Let's see if we can. Here we go. Nighttime walk around. All right. Nighttime walk around. Here we go. Here's a 2013 Hyundai Elantra. This doesn't look like a white one, but it looks like a silver one, okay? Hopefully they go kind of far away from it. He's too close to it. But let's just compare this here. It's too hard to tell. It does take on that similar kind of shape. Oops. Oh gosh, no. Oh, did I accidentally exit out? Hold on. Command Shift T. There we go. Okay. It takes on that same kind of shape. And like, you have to imagine this security camera footage is great. It's super far away. The quality is far less than this than this person that's filming right next to the car. It's just hard to tell. It's just so hard to tell. I wish they would stand further away. This one in particular has like the bottom lights on. And this one doesn't appear to have any sort of, like, I don't know, fog lights or runner lights, whatever they're called, underneath. I don't know. Even just the comparison with these two still, to me, looks pretty spot on. Also, how many cars are out on the road at 3:45 in the morning in this town, right? How many white cars? I mean, white isn't an uncommon color by any means, but it's like, I feel like it could be significant for sure. All right, let me read some of your comments. I think Ethan heard them and got up to confront them, or came out after. Yeah, I think I mean, it's certainly a possibility. The mirror is not white. It's hard to tell. Yeah, it's also, yeah, it's hard to fully tell. Also, there could be different packages, right? Where the different trim and colors and those kinds of things. it might be an upgraded version. For example, this part down here, this like air intake, whatever this would be, I don't know what that would be. It's like not a hood scoop, but like on the side. You don't see that on this version right here. So that could just be like an upgraded version to have that, you know what I mean? So who knows? All right, reading some more of your comments here. How many Elantras in Moscow? Good question. I mean, surely there can't be more than, I don't know, 200 Hyundai Elantras. So it's like, narrow it down. Woman and Sacred says, I'm telling you, frat boys coming from the direction of the house at the time of the murders is highly suspect. It's right by the body. It's right there in the body cam footage. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it is a little bit strange, but at the same time, it's a Saturday night. These guys are drinking. There's tons of apartments in this area. It would be one thing if there was that house and the frat house, but these kids were coming from supposedly a different apartment complex heading towards or away from the frat. I can't remember. I don't know. I have a feeling there's 2 killers. Okay. I don't know. How long had roomies lived there? I don't know. I don't know how long the roomies lived there. The roomies did come forward and speak. That's what's on the 4chan post. The 4 guys running at the time, the ones who said they were going to do this. Here's the thing. Is 4chan just completely anonymous? Because that could just be trolls, and like that is crazy to think that there would be people posting on 4chan about this as opposed to letting law enforcement know, especially if it's like valuable information. Like there's no way somebody in a fraternity would just like keep that quiet. You would definitely rat someone out. I don't care if they're your brother or whatever. Whoops. But it's very interesting, nonetheless. You have to remember law enforcement has way more facts than they are saying. Correct action by them. Yeah, exactly, Joseph. There's no doubt that they have a lot. And I think, and we talked about this in my last stream, I think that they have so much more because they haven't allowed a reward to come through. I'm sure that there's been people that have offered up substantial reward money for this case. So maybe, that it also could be a manpower thing where they don't want the reward to come through quite yet because that's going to lead to so many more potential tips that could be, some could be credible, but if they are already suspecting somebody, which I don't know that they are, but if they are, that could be why that there's no reward right now. And there, who knows? Maybe later this week we're gonna have an arrest in this case. You got to read it. Yeah, I will at some point. I had no idea about it. I'll have to maybe check that out. Let's just see here. Okay, so just to kind of show you guys, sorry, I clicked 4chan and clicked Idaho 4 and just clicked something here. And this is the kind of stuff that comes up. And once again, it is what it is. Like it is interesting to go through and read certain things, but just reading some of the first few things in here, I'm not even going to read this. I'm just going to highlight it for you guys to read. Like, what is this? Who is this person? What? According to coroner leak, like where is this at? There's no coroner leak. What? Like, that's where it's just like, I don't know. I'll hold off on any of the 4chan stuff for now. I like to go through some of this stuff off stream because it is interesting to see what people are saying out there, because you never know. But it's just like, seems totally not productive. John, I tweeted the 4chan thing to you on Twitter. Check your DMs. Is that what you were talking about? Royal Q. Use the tweet to understand. Okay, John sent this. Okay, thank you, John. Okay, so it's a little bit more narrowed down. I don't know if this is exactly what Angela was talking about, but John sent me this. We can quickly read through these, because these are a little bit more specific. Bruh, you can see the King Road house from David's SX room. Once the third floor light turned off, they did it. 19 minutes total. Walk included. Talked about this ish at Bishop, Kelly, and SX. Loach and E got in a fight that night. Ethan, I would assume. X allegedly talking crap. Xana. L had probs with Matt. Yo, the way people talk, it has me. I can't. This has been brewing since Fall Rush last year. They went quiet on SM social media for 2 weeks before and after the deed. Barry's mom, a paralegal, so he knows not to say ish. Loach cleared his social media. Okay, so once again, these are people making these bold claims on 4chan. This is me just reading it. I don't know who this is. This is an anonymous post. Okay, thank you, Angela. I appreciate it. And thank you, John, for sending me the specific the specific thread. I'm sure I could have gotten to it by reading through or listening a little bit more on Grizzlies, but I didn't want to just keep listening. I had to take a crap. SX22 saw Ethan, Xana, Loach, and Barry at the party. Loach and E have issues back to E rushing. I assume E is Ethan. Ethan talked crap about Loach taking roids and having his balls shrivel. Loach pissed as he wanted Xana. For dumbass youngins like Ethan, tutors are assigned. Barry blew it with Ethan. Ethan, a second-year fresher. Barry also self-conscious about his... okay, I'm not going to say that. Barry and Loach talked about this crap in general for a while. Talked about leaving their cell phones behind on YouTube. Autoplay, no pings, no guns, too loud. Area dead early Sunday morning. Okay, that's crazy. It's like they've got to... This is probably the stuff. This is the stuff that law enforcement is talking about. Like, if something this specific about somebody saying like how this went down, like they're just saying it like, oh yeah, like this is exactly what they're saying. This has been brewing since Fall Rush last year. Like this is the stuff that I assume law enforcement is just like freaking out about, thinking like, well, this seems so specific. It's like they have to hunt this down. They have to retrace who posted this anonymously on 4chan to be able to reverse engineer this and figure out, you know, if there's anything credible here. Because like what you guys are saying, this makes my head hurt. People really need English class. Aside from that, someone is saying that this is really difficult to follow. What did they say? Sorry. It's fake, all these things. It just seems too specific. Wow, stop complaining about how the person talks and just read it. Hey, Angie, I'm not complaining. It's kind of also hard, and I don't want to just like be cursing on YouTube because I just don't want to do that. So sorry, Angie. It's difficult to read. Barry even calls out shit media saying titties was target. That crap false. Titties bad luck. Targets were Ethan and Xana and Mads. Mads talked crap about Loach. Never acknowledged Barry. Mads right about that one. Loach should have also taken out Barry. What in the world? I don't know who some of these people are, but Okay. WKF, Dirty South Loach and E hated each other. Barry got a bid because our house GPA sucked and the NC was on our asses. Barry is a whatever. Dirty South, what? And E could not be more opposite. Mads did talk crap. Dirty also pissed. Okay. I don't know what any of this means. These people clearly don't, yeah, something went down is what they're kind of saying. But also, like, what does any of this mean? I mean, hold on. Boyfriend Barry actually talked about this in detail in the past. Wear electrician's gloves. Put on baggy clothes after and walk away. By the way, Barry's dad works for a professional cleaning company. I don't know. I don't know what this is. Guys, I am proud to introduce you, possible murder accomplice Bridget. I don't think she did the murdering per se. Most likely stayed on the lookout because they're going to need people to keep lookout, right? And if she's friends with Dylan, it would make sense why they left Bethany and Dylan alone. Dylan bros, we've hit a snag. Accomplice Bridget is friends with Dylan. I missed it though. Why is he speculated to be involved? See, I don't know what any of this is. I'm just kind of reading through it. For the aesthetic, of course. Apparently the night of the murders, E and Loach got into a fight. Okay, so this is getting into the fight. This is where rumors early on did say like there was potentially a fight at the Sigma Chi house. Apparently they got into a fight, and E said Loach had shriveled balls from roids. X was talking crap too. Loach has long-standing beef with Ethan, and apparently M too. Barry and Loach are butt buddies who talked about murder fantasies before. Okay, now that's strange. Also something about Barry being Ethan's tutor and not doing well with it. The comment triggered roid rage, and Loach and his little twink sidekick carried out their long-standing fantasy together. I mean, I don't know who these guys are. That's the four posts. Thanks to Dylan, I think, or John for sending that. I don't know. Who knows if there's truth somewhere hidden in between all of those theories. I mean, I will say the silence of the fraternity party, the silence of the students, not that all the students had anything or, know anything about it, but it's like somebody was at that party besides Ethan and Xana, obviously. And it's like you'd think actual legit stuff would slip out into the media that would get picked up by like a news network as opposed to 4chan for people to kind of run with. And so the fact that that hasn't happened either tells me that Ethan and Xana left relatively early and there really just isn't much info about the Sigma Chi party, or something did happen at the Sigma Chi party and some people are remaining very quiet about it. But I don't know. Anyways, I think that's going to be it though, guys. We're almost at the 2-hour mark. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. We've hit 27,400. So thank you guys for subscribing. If you haven't already hit the like button, please do so on the way out. We have 1,000 people in here. We have 500 likes. So either 500 of you, hate the stream, or you just haven't made your way over to the like button yet. I'm going to read a few of your guys' comments on the way out. Tyler Feller. Someone said, Tyler Feller, did he consult with Jim the detective before announcing it? Announcing what? Anyways, okay. Continuing on, let's read some of your guys' comments here. put this back up on the screen, even though we've gone over it 24 times. Someone close to the killer has known they've been acting weird. There's got to be someone that knows, you know. I don't know. As a member of Greek life, I think they are being told to shut up by HQ to shut up. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a possibility that they're just being told not to speak in general. Watch the Grubhub video and look at the interaction between Packers sweatshirts and Burnett, and they move behind hoodie guy. That's who she videos and points at. I'll have to take a look at that. I did look back at that video, Holly. I don't know, because I know you were talking about the people in the background maybe looked like the group of guys from the police body cam footage, but I'm not entirely sure. There was a lot of people there, and it's just hard to tell. No one that commits this kind of crime has not told anyone. Yeah, you would think they would have told somebody, especially if it was two people. It's impossible for two people to keep a secret. The only way for two people to keep a secret is for one of them to be dead. So when they commit something like this anyways. Well, my name is Chelson, not Chelsea girl. Did I say Chelsea? I don't know if you're referring to me. If I called you Chelsea, my bad. I think there's plenty to know. That's why they need to offer a reward. It's so stupid law enforcement won't let them have a reward fund. Yeah, if they're just pushing back on the reward because they think that there's going to be too many potential leads coming through that could be, you know, non-credible leads or leads that, you know, lead them down a path that could be difficult to work their way out of. I think that that's incredibly ridiculous. I think if they really don't have any credible leads right now, they need to put out an actual reward, because even though, like Candace says, it makes them look desperate, if they don't have anything, a reward certainly shouldn't hurt in the long run, because you never know if someone's going to come forward. But I think that there's probably a reason why they haven't put one out, and it might be because they are very close. You have to imagine as well, I know it's been 1 month, but forensic evidence can take 3-4 weeks sometimes, depending on what kind of tests you're doing on it. So I don't know, you know, there's certain things in the house that they could be testing that is just going to take a little while to fully come back. Chelson, dude, I don't want to argue. This is dumb. What are you even referring to? I don't know if someone's arguing with you, but hopefully not, because I'm sure not. Okay, guys. Oh, you weren't talking about me. Okay, I was going to say. Okay, that's basically it. I know that we didn't really go into too much more. I mean, the biggest thing was looking at the location of where that footage was taken from that little mini mart gas station thing. Hopefully they can look into some of the other cameras in that area and see. The biggest thing to me, did that car heading east on Highway 8, did it leave town? Were they able to determine, did it leave town, or did it go to one of these neighborhoods on the east side of town? I'm sure that they're going to be able to go into some of this other footage that they could obtain from some of the other businesses. I think that would be their next step. But then again, if they hadn't obtained this footage until just now, who's to say they probably haven't gotten Taco Bell's footage yet. Who knows? I don't know. Okay, that's it. I'm going to be done rambling. We've been going for 2 hours. Thank you guys for joining the stream. If there's any new movement in the case tomorrow, we will hop on and go live. If it's substantial, if not, possibly Thursday. But until then, I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks, guys.